I designed my lesson on digital citizenship for my 6th grade business and computer science students. The content standards I focused on were having students discuss internet safety and security issues, utilizing the internet as a resource, and students acquiring basic knowledge and skills of multimedia presentation software. The ITSE standards directly relate to the content standards of digital citizenship, having students recognize the rights, responsibilities, and opportunities of living, learning, and working in an interconnected digital world. The tools I chose to use were Digital Citizenship HyperDoc through Google Slides, Vokies to create an avatar, Google Slides to create a class presentation of avatars, a variety of handouts and videos of digital citizenship topics, a video on how to create a Google drawing, a video on how to create a Google slide presentation, a Padlet for concluding activity, and BrainPop for an extension activity. I presented my students with their HyperDoc through their Google Classroom. Students were able to access all of their documents in the Google Classroom. We then went to the HyperDoc, which is a collection of lessons all in one spot. So students started the unit with a video on digital footprints and then researched different celebrity footprints. They then created an avatar using the Voki tool and then created a class presentation on the different avatars that were created. Here is an example of some of the presentations. They were able to practice using different fonts and different backgrounds. Here are a few of my favorites that were created. I like this because I was able to leave comments for students to go back and make changes to. After they completed their avatar and their presentation, they then went to work in a virtual world using Everfi.com. They completed 3 modules: the viral world, internet resources and credibility, and digital relationships and respect. Here is an example of what it looked like to students. Students started the assignments taking a pre-check and then worked through different activities throughout the module, ending it in a post-check. The post-checks were used as formative assessments for the students. Once they completed all 3 modules, they then worked through a variety of handouts and videos on digital topics, and then concluded the unit with choosing a topic and choosing a way to present that topic through either a HyperDoc or a Google presentation as their final summative assessment. The rubric for the HyperDoc is as follows, as well as the Google slide. They are very similar expectations, but different ways of presenting their information. The last activity they were presented with was their Padlet. Through this activity, I just asked students to reflect and post on what their favorite parts of the lesson was, what they least liked, which allowed me to make changes for the next time I present this unit next 9 weeks. Because I presented my lessons through a HyperDoc, it allowed me to act as a facilitator, and I was able to work one-on-one with students. Students were provided visual aids of pictures and videos to help them through different activities. They were also provided access to Google Read and Write as an assistive technology for those who needed it. For those students who completed their task early, I also provided an extension activity through BrainPop, which allowed them to watch a video and then create a movie. I had several different assessments throughout the unit. They completed the pre and post assessment through Everfi. They then had a summative assessment over the vocabulary terms where they used Quizlet to review. And then students chose between a HyperDoc or a Google Slides presentation as their final summative assessment for the unit. Recommendations that I have for anyone who would like to use this lesson in the future is before they use a HyperDoc with their students, create a sample HyperDoc to have students work through so they are aware of the expectations. If you make a copy of the HyperDoc I use, make sure any videos and tools are compatible with students' accounts. Create checkpoints for students to stop and discuss topics with them, and then look for more ways that students can collaborate with each other.